The ABCs of Orthodoxy, Part 4, the alphabet, letters S through Z. The Saints of the Orthodox Christian Church. S is for Saint Sava. He was a prince and ruler of the region in present-day Serbia. He left everything he had and became a simple monk. Later he became a bishop and a teacher of his people. He died in Bulgaria. His holy body, or relics, were brought back to Serbia, and for many years God gave them healing powers that even people who were not Christians were healed. He is considered the father of the Serbian nation. S is also for Saint Sebastian. Saint Sebastian was born in San Francisco of Serbian immigrant parents. He loved school and assisting in missionary work. He is the first American-born saint. His holy relics are kept in Jackson, California, in the first Serbian Orthodox Church in America, which he established. S is also for Saint Stephen. He was one of the first Christians, and particularly one of the first deacons of the church. Saint Stephen was the first person to die for his faith. S is also for Saint Simeon. When Jesus Christ, as a baby, was brought into the temple, Saint Simeon was the one who took him in his arms. This is why he is known as the God Receiver. He said a prayer at that time, which we use in the church to this day, specifically during Vespers. T is for Saint Tatiana. She was a Roman and an early Christian. She was a deaconess in the church. When she was tortured for her faith, she prayed for the torturers, and many of them became Christians. She was so holy that people saw angels around her. T is also for Saint Thecla. She was born to pagan parents, but at the age of 18, after hearing the Apostle Paul for 3 days and nights, she became a Christian. She followed Paul to Antioch. She also preached the gospel of Christ, converted many to the faith, and healed many. T is also for Saint Theodora. She was a Greek empress who loved Christ and understood his church. When some people tried to get rid of icons, she stopped this and brought back the holy icons to the churches. The whole church gives thanks for that. This is why we celebrate the Sunday of Orthodoxy during Great Lent. She, together with her son, is one who instituted this celebration. T is also for Saint Thomas of India. Saint Apostle Thomas was one of the 12 disciples of Jesus Christ. He was the one who needed the Lord to prove to him that he died on the cross and then became alive. The Lord sent him to the country of India to preach his gospel and establish the church there. U is for Saint Urosh. He was the son of a Tsar. Urosh was a meek, devout, and gentle man. At the age of 31, he was killed by those who did not like to see the good example of a man of God. U is also for Saint Urban. He was one of the 70 apostles. He was ordained or made a bishop by Saint Andrew the First Called, the one who was first called to follow Jesus and be his disciple and apostle. V is for Saint Varnava. Saint Varnava was born in Gary, Indiana. His American name was Walter. His parents later moved to Serbia, where he became a bishop and was mistreated and even died for being God's servant. He is the first Indiana-born saint. V is also for Saint Vladimir. He was the Prince of Russia who was originally interested in all kinds of religions. He tried to figure out which was the right one. When some of his friends came from a liturgy of the Orthodox Church, they told him that it was so great that they didn't know whether they were in heaven or on earth. Vladimir became Christian, and the whole country became Christian. He built many churches and completely changed his life. V is also for Saint Veronica. She was the one who was healed by Jesus himself when she had a sickness of bleeding all the time. She then made a statue of Jesus Christ and prayed in front of it until she died. V is also for Saint Valentine. He was a bishop in Italy in the 3rd century and was known for healing people with his prayer to God. W is for Saint Wisdom or Saint Sophia. In Greek, her name is Sophia. She was a good Christian woman who had 3 daughters, Faith, Hope, and Love. Sophia was told not to be a Christian anymore, but she refused. Her daughters were killed before her eyes one by one, and she still did not denounce Christ. At last, God took her soul with her children and established them in the kingdom of heaven. X is for Saint Ksenia. She is known as a patron saint of St. Petersburg. After her husband died, she gave everything she had to the poor. She put his clothes on and acted like a homeless person. In the church, we call this being a fool for Christ. X is also for Saint Xenophon. This saint and his wife Maria were respected and wealthy citizens of Constantinople, present-day Istanbul. They were a married couple who made a special effort in raising their 2 sons to be good Christians. Their sons were in a shipwreck while on a boat to travel to their school. They were thrown overshore by waves, but in 2 different places so that each thought the other had drowned. Out of sadness, each became a monk. One day, by the providence of God, as they both decided to visit the Holy Land, they met and were very happy. In thanks to God, even their parents became a monk and a nun and gave away all their wealth to the poor and needy. Y is for Saint U. You can become a saint too. Pray to God, and the rest He will do. Love God and love your neighbor, and God will sanctify your labor. Z is for Saint Zacchaeus. He was originally a sinner and tax collector and was the one who climbed a tree to see Jesus. Because Zacchaeus was truly sorry for all the bad things he had done, Jesus came to his home, forgave him, and blessed him. Zacchaeus later became a bishop in Palestine. Z is also for Saint Zotikos. He gave away all his wealth and dedicated his life to feeding orphans and helping sick people. The ABCs of Orthodoxy, Part 4, the alphabet, letters S through Z.